I just turned 44, and I just started using a peptide that you could loosely place. So we're working with a company, and I told them, I'm like, make me your guinea pig. Send me what you think I would be cool to try, because then I could talk about it on the show. So they sent me something called MOTS-C, and I guess you could loosely put it in the longevity category, although other people would put it in like the fat loss category or whatever. I say loosely because what I've read on it so far is they found that people who live a long time have more MOTS-C in their system than people who don't. Well, anyway, I just started it, and it has to be my favorite peptide so far. Like, awesome. Lots of energy. I feel very clear. Headed. My workout performance seems pretty surreal in terms of stamina. So let's go with the longevity. Start with MOTS-C, just for selfishly. I'm fascinated by it and what the hell it's doing in my body. I've read some of your stuff, but I'd love to talk to you about it.
Well, let me ask you first, like, what is your dosing protocol with
it? 10 milligrams. It started 3 days a week and then once a week afterwards.
Okay, so you're getting like a 10 milligram vial and injecting the whole thing?
That's right.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a big dose.
Yeah, no, look. Well, so it's interesting, and it's perfect. No. It's a perfect way to talk about this, because I think the biggest confusion principle for people that do peptides is how much bacterial static water do I put in the vial if the vial isn't coming with bacterial static water? And we can even talk about that, right? Because the difference between research chemical companies and compounding pharmacies is a compounding pharmacy is licensed to sell you a drug that you can use right away.
Right.
Versus a research chemical company
There's
isn't.
a couple steps, right?
I see.
Exactly. Yeah. And the research chemical company is like indemnifying themselves that you're using it on your laboratory animal and that this is not for human use, right? But we all know that, look, let's be honest. We all know that people are using them on themselves. They are their own laboratory animal. And the differentiation is that the research chemical company is not, quote unquote, making their products in a sterile, compound pharmacy, stringent quality control and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Right. But the truth is that, I know the businesses very well, obviously, and a lot of the research chemical companies are using very similar quality control that the compound pharmacies are. Okay. And then you got to even go deeper, right? Like, where are they getting their raw materials? Where are they getting their active ingredients? And the best ones are getting them from the same place. And, I happen to know, that whole business and industry also too. So it's like, you got to be, how do I say this? The best way is say, be a smart consumer. Make sure that if you're buying your peptides from a research chemical company, that it is, gets good reviews and that you know where they're getting their stuff from. Because I'll be honest with you guys, there definitely are research chemical companies up making it, like that on top of that every night, right? In their kitchen, or their basement or their bathroom, wherever it is. And a lot of them are completely unregulated. And, you ask that question, like, what are the risks? Well, in something like that, there's contamination risks. Now, again, peptides are very, very well tolerated, and you have never seen anybody, at least that I know of, who's died from a peptide injection. That's not to say it couldn't happen, but just be very cautious on that. But back to MOTS-C, and that was a nice little rabbit hole. MOTS-C is an amazing mitochondrial stimulator. Okay. So like, if we, do a quick deep dive on like, what are the mitochondria? You guys all know from 10th grade biology, they're the powerhouses of the cells, right? Like the mitochondria of the cells are what, enhances or increases energy. So MOTS-C stimulates the mitochondrial to optimize, in the cells. So the less optimized a person is mitochondrially, the more effect technically or theoretically MOTS-C will work. Now, the fact that you told me you're now the second person, Ben Polkolsky being the other one, and we all know Ben isn't a monster. He isn't anymore, but he's still, he's got more muscle than most of us combined. He's still a monster. Yeah, he's still honestly, I just had a Zoom call with him 2 days ago, and I'm looking at him like, Ben, you're starting to look like me, bro. Like, what's going on? No, but you know how it is. When you're not a pro bodybuilder anymore, you're not going to look like a mutant anymore, right? But I love Ben, man. Ben's the most amazing human on the planet. But the truth is that
he got good results from it as well, right?
Amazing. Yeah. And so both of you guys are telling me that. So because I was under the assumption, and this is just more learning even for me, which is obviously a never-ending process of life, of learning, right? What is it like? The more you learn, the less you know. Yeah, right? Yeah. But the truth is I used to think, based on my experience and what I would see with people, that the less conditioned a person was, the better the results from MOTS-C, which makes sense because again, they don't have their mitochondria optimized. Right. So the heavier, more obese, more inflamed, more insulin resistant one is, the less they have mitochondrial stimulation. Right. So all of a sudden you inject MOTS-C in, it's like an accelerant. And they're like, whoa. And I've seen heavy people go on that and they're like this is the most amazing. You know, they like change. They're like, oh my God, I feel like you now, man. Like I want to work out twice a day. So that's weird. So, I mean, again, I think it's another interesting pattern that we're so all biochemically unique. Because as I told you guys, like when I use Matsi, I don't get that effect.
Wow.
At all. Like I don't feel anything. I mean, actually the only thing that I felt the very, very first time, and by the way, I did the same thing you did. I didn't do it all at once. So I took 5 and 5.
Okay.
But it was in the same day. I was laying there staring at the ceiling.
Yeah.
I was in bed, like what's going on?
Yeah.
But I did not feel like better energy to train and stuff like that. So again, we're all unique. But again, in the research, it's an amazing peptide. I mean, for heavy people, this is a peptide that will change the game. Like, absolutely, if you are obese or you are heavy and you're listening to this podcast and you need to lose weight, this is a peptide that must be in your protocol without question.